Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everybody to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're back for another mini episode of the podcast, but this time we're not debating any players. Player versus player. We decided we should talk about Ezekiel Elliott a little bit here. All the news coming down on Zeke. People are asking us, getting a bunch of questions on what to do with him, if he's suspended, if whatever goes on. So we thought we'd talk about it a little bit. So if everyone doesn't know, there's all kinds of, I think you know. I don't even know what's going on. Like, what do you actually be suspended for at this point? I think it's just the combination of everything that the domestic violence issues. There was some incident in a St. Patrick's Day parade. There's now the new where he punched somebody at a club.
I actually forgot about the parade. Yeah.
See, it's all this stuff combined. And Schefter last week said it could be a small suspension. People are thinking maybe 1 to 2 games. Maybe 3 to 4 with all this stuff. So basically, Jeff, the question is, if it's 1 to 2 game suspension, does it affect how you draft him? 1 to 2?
Well, it depends on where you have him ranked. I really think no matter just this looming overhead, and definitely if it's 1 to 2 games, he drops to number 3 automatically, right?
Yeah, then it's not even a question.
If you did have him ranked above either Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson, this is a no-brainer.
Well,
he goes to 3rd.
I think even without a suspension, I think all this going on,
I agree.
Even if you thought about it before, I think he automatically drops to 3, no matter what.
And because
for sure,
you're kind of on the fence anyway. I think you could have picked any 3 of those individuals, and they would have been great for you. So it's really just who you liked more.
Yep.
But now with all of this going, I put him at number 3 without a doubt.
Yep.
Just because you don't want that looming overhead. It might even take a little bit of his concentration away. So you're kind of just hedging your bets with those 3. So he definitely falls to number 3. The big question is if, say, he gets suspended for 4 games, which we've seen before, does that drop him out of the top 3 for you?
Here's where I've been trying to think about this one. Last year, Bell was suspended for 3 games is what it ended up being. And the teams that ended up getting Bell for a discount last year were in great shape at the end of the year. I know as for a fact because in the playoffs last year, I'm in 3 leagues. I played against Le'Veon Bell in all 3 leagues, and he killed me. So, all 3 leagues I'm in, Bell's team made the playoffs, and he was suspended 3 games. I'm taking the chance on it, Zeke. He still might be my 3rd pick. That it's a little crazy, but I just think that's where I'm going to go with it. My way off base here with thinking that even with a 3 or 4 game suspension, he still might possibly take him at number 3.
I want to disagree with you, but I just don't. I would take 3 games. I think is a no-brainer, right?
I think so. I
think you take Elliott at number 3. I think 4 games, even that, I would still lean towards taking Elliott at number 3. And I look at last year's to give a little bit of basis. So Bell was suspended for 3 games. Mm-hmm. He ended up the 5th running back overall anyway. And he's in the same kind of, those 3 really do outscore everyone else the most. And he was still within 6 points of 3rd, which was LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, I think it's...
So, and then there was a huge jump of 45 points, and then you get to Elliott, and then there was even more, and then you get to Johnson. So, by thinking behind that, would be also, on top of it, is Elliott is a much younger back.
Yep.
In a very good situation. And if you can weather a couple of those games, you have a much better back, and he's going to be more than likely. Younger backs do well throughout the course of the season better than veterans do.
Yep.
You get a little more banged up, a little more, question marks.
I can see McCoy dropping off.
Exactly, and he's getting a little older. And then the guy under him was DeMarco Murray. So, and I realize a couple of the other guys are probably going to jump up there. Would you jump down and get a Gordon, a Howard?
No, see, I just think Zeke is that much better than those guys.
I do too. So I think even at 4 games, and let's be real, he's not going to get suspended for more than 4 games.
I honestly, if I had to bet, I'd say 2.
Yeah, and
maybe even be a 1.
Yeah,
because what do they really have to go off of? Actual it's all this stuff combined. But what is there? There's nothing. He's not convicted of anything. He's not even charged with anything. It's just all this little stuff. But how do you get more than a game or 2?
I think it's that first one that never got resolved is the big issue.
Yep.
But even if it's 4 games, I would still do Elliott. And as to your point, maybe you start thinking about a wide receiver for the PPR aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I still think I would go Elliott because of the huge difference in talent.
And I mean, we're already different on that than a lot of people. A lot of drafts I see even in standard. At number 4, people are going for Antonio Brown right there, when I'm probably going McCoy yet. See, I think we've kind of leaned running back heavy this year.
Yeah.
But I just think if you don't get that running back in the first round, you're going to be hurting in the second, and you're going to have a running back that you're not going to want. Because this is what I'm thinking with Zeke. If he's suspended, you still get him at 3rd pick. You could probably get him if he's suspended at the 4th pick. Maybe people go ahead of you get Brown. 2nd round, you get that second running back. Maybe it's Gurley, that kind of thing. And then you can still get wide receivers later. There are plenty good ones. So
here's my question: who's a back that you could get? Say he gets suspended for 3 games. We'll just say that. Who's a running back you would be targeting later in order to fill that spot?
Darren McFadden.
Right. It's like, yeah. So you have his backup. So say his backup.
If that, you'd probably go for one of those guys like really deep in the draft, like Terrence West, Jacquizz Rodgers, who are the starting back for probably the first 3 games of the year. They're both starting, and you can get them so late, and not change your draft based off having to get somebody for Zeke.
Right, and that's
what you don't want to do. You don't want to mess with your draft just to do that.
Not for 3 games or
when you can
or
get
less.
West and you can get Rodgers late, and they'll be okay. They're not obviously not going to be great.
No.
They'll get you by as long as you are good at drafting. You have a decent team. See, I'm confident enough, I guess, in myself to finish my team off, other than just one player. So I feel like I can make that work for 3 weeks, but I don't see it being more than 1 or 2. So
no.
That's kind of where I'm at.
So I guess that was easy enough because he drops to number 3 no matter what.
Yep.
And then he probably doesn't drop much past that, unless you're in PPR, and then you could probably go Antonio Brown. But immediately after that, I would probably jump right back to him.
Yeah, because the only thing I can see stopping him if he's suspended is injury, and you can't predict injury, so don't worry about that.
Right.
If he's on the field, he's healthy, he's going to be great. There's nothing going to stop that. So I guess that's it on Zeke.
Yeah.
That's all I got. So I honestly I don't think people need to worry too much. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be a great situation, but if you're already at 3, you're not getting Johnson or Bell anyway. So
no, and
you were already kind of.
You never know. I guess it could actually be a blessing in disguise if he does get suspended and people back off.
That's
of him.
That's the better part about that.
Can you imagine if he dropped to like number 7?
Yeah, if you're in an auction, if you can get like $15-$20 less on him in an auction.
Yeah. Oh, the auction is even more so.
But for people that are thinking of keeping him, like you, Jeff, you were possibly thinking about that. It's completely done now, 100%.
Definitely not.
That for a high price in an auction, yes, I can see not doing
it.
But
assuming I paid a lot for him last year, so that's assuming.
And in an auction, I wouldn't try to keep him for very much because I feel like you throw him back and you can hopefully get a better price.
I was like, and we did a $200 auction. That was our cap. Even for that though, if he was still going to go for 50. Missing 2-3 games, I would still do it in a heartbeat.
Bell went for 50 in our league last year with the 3-game suspension. That was well worth it.
Yeah, well worth it.
Just over 50, but all right, that's it on Zeke. Hopefully we'll have some more news here. Hopefully this gets resolved before people start drafting. This better be done in the next week or 2. So don't want to get into draft time, and if you have an early draft, you might be hurting. It's tough to not know. So.
That's the scary part about having early drafts.
Yep. But all right, we'll talk to you guys next time.